Cross volunteer nurse on the battlefront. We know that many nurses did go out and actually work on the battlefield and were sometimes killed as a result. So some of them are really right up, literally on the kind of front line action. This is one image that testifies to that. With random people wearing these patterns.
What do you mean by modern?
Well, it's from a series of which there's a number of sheets in this collection. Kind of La Grande Guerre, they're printed on newsprint basically. So, and we don't really know anything about the maker. So it's a kind of anonymous production on pretty lousy material. So that's you know, but not that it's not a fascinating thing to have in a museum like this, where we work so extensively with students and research on all kinds of aspects of this kind of material. So, modest didn't mean, was not meant to be pejorative, but you know, we don't know who did it. The drawing's pretty good. You know, the hand coloring is kind of out of register for the stencil, I guess it is. So this work here that shows a number of blind people with nurses, and presumably they've been blinded from a gas attack. I mean, that's a lot of blindness is caused by the gases used in the war. I found this in a magazine, reproduced. This has no title, but where it was in the magazine, I have no idea if this reflects the artist's intent or not, but it was titled, now I can't remember exactly what it was, but the implication was that these men are faking blindness so as to not have to go back to the front. I mean, who would have thunk it, right? And that may or may not be what the artist had in mind, Charles Renoir. But it was fascinating to find this image reproduced with that caption. It gives it a whole other possible kind
in that
of
time
meaning.
period or in a modern?
Was it an old magazine or a new?
Yeah.
No, it was, I Googled it basically and found this. You know how we work these days. And there it was. And it was, I don't actually remember if it was prior to 1918 or 1919, but it was right in there. It wasn't any later than 1920. But I've noted it down, but I don't have the date on the tip of my tongue. So, who knows? Defectors. So let's. Do people have other questions or comments for here before we go look at a few other things? This is a very nice series by George Herman Paul, who is a known artist, and he did many works during the war. He did calendars several years, and it was series of 12. He did other portfolios. And, you know, this gift, for example, has trial proofs of the colors in it. So for these prints, there are copies that have the color, you know, kind of brushed off on the side. Clearly a proof trying to sort out what colors to finally settle on for the actual edition.
That's why the one on the bottom is still more vibrant. That they were still designing.
Well, these are as published. So in addition to these, we have proofs that have the colors, but they're beautifully preserved. And most of the things happening in this collection are in really great condition. So, any other questions, Rachel?
Well, I'm just, the donor, was he in World War I, or his father in World War I, or how did he get stuck in World War I?
I think, well, he's an art historian. And Edison, all of them did I know the chart. So, and I think that it's been possible. Acquiring them who are well known. Yeah, the only other group, factory team, yeah. And I'll just think, I don't have anything real specific to talk about it here. I just want to point it out. This is our teaching gallery, and this is kind of unique to a university museum in that we have worked very aggressively, I'd say, to encourage our colleagues in all kinds of disciplines all across the university to use our resources in their teaching. So we've gotten pretty deeply embedded in the curriculum now, which is wonderful. But as a result, we're constantly being asked to get things out specifically for classes. So this gallery is dedicated to that. So these things come out for about 2 weeks at a time. Yeah. I was going to put that up today in the study room, and I realized, oh, it's out here. Yeah, so this is some classes that have requested a lot of German materials. So, and it's interesting to reflect on personally, because I've been here a long time. All but 2 persons in this case have come to the museum since I've been here. So it's interesting after 30 years to see how things have grown and changed. Yeah. So. And the one in the middle, the one in the middle is Otto Dieks, who will see some works by when we go into the study room. And that's a work that he did during the war, when he was in the trenches as a foot soldier himself, of an explosion of a mine going off, and blowing people to bits. So he's an astonishing artist. We have a self-portrait by him as well, a painting, which is quite a significant painting. It just went to Germany for an exhibition. I think it's back now. And these other things are of the period in Germany also. And it's something I've heard about, the Antarctica Kunst exhibition, the exhibition that Hitler organized, where they gathered all the avant-garde artists and basically disposed of them. And this is the catalog for that exhibition. So. Anyway, so be aware this gallery is something that's kind of special here. It changes literally about every 2 weeks. It's not dedicated to works on paper, but it's right next to our works on paper storage area. And when teachers request stuff, 95% of the time what they can find is going to be works on paper. Because if you're teaching, gender studies or something like that, you're not going to find 18th century sculpture or something to be as useful as the kind of things that we have in the print area. So it does get a lot of traffic that way. It gets out in front of people's eyes.